little pot. The light is coming from the right, hitting the pot, so that this side of the pot is very light. This bit is more in shadow as it returns round. And then there's a little tiny bit of reflected or refracted light on the other edge. Can you see it, or shall I go in closer? I'm going closer.
Yeah.
Okay. And the cast shadow is on the opposite side of the object to where the light source is. So the light source is over here. Therefore, the cast shadow is on the opposite side, right? This is just to remind you, some of us did this exercise with an egg, and it's actually exactly the same information that I've just talked about with a pot. We're using charcoal and white chalk, so obviously tone is going to come into the drawing of the objects that we're involved with this evening. So consider where your main light source is, if you've got one, and just remember that you don't have to put a continuous line round everything, but you can leave the edge where there's most light almost without any line. Then you move into what we call half tone, and then tone, dark tone, and then a tiny weeny bit of reflected light on the edge. And then the cast shadow obviously going over to the left because the light source is on the right. These are not really relevant, but these are some little studies I did ages ago in oil pastel, and we're not using oil pastel. We may go on to do that if you would like to in due course. But why I'm showing them to you is that note how I've left bits of the paper coming up through the drawing. And this is, you know, when you're using a toned paper, like, you know, a mid-grey or a lightish grey, you can exploit this as one of the tones. You can use the paper as a tone, and then you have your very lightest tones, your half tones, and your darks, okay? And that's a similar sort of thing. Again, paper showing up, being left as integral part of the drawing. And I think, you know, when you're using charcoal, it's nice to not fill every last little bit in. Again, this is another charcoal drawing just of bottles. And I can't remember, I think we may have done this when Gillian Wilmore just joined us. I seem to recall.
Yes, it was glass and metal.
That's right, glass and metal.
Last June.
Yes, yeah. So I'm doing glass and metal again, but I'm making it more specific in terms of what the subject is, rather than it being non-specific. But again, in this drawing, a lot of the grey paper is being left, and that I think it makes it more attractive. It makes these look really glass-like, and the use of, you know, very strong darks, half tones, and highlights. And then finally, this one here, which again is really, I can't remember, I did this a while back, but I was obviously able to put a bit of the window in. It was dark outside. And the white chalk was, you know, quite important in terms of the drawing. And again, I have left quite a bit of the paper showing up. All right. So do consider maybe the odd line to indicate the table or whatever you want. So you do think about the relationship of the background to your objects. In this case, the background was darker than these glass objects or whatever they were. I think that was ceramic. Right. So this afternoon I just had a little play around, and again I've left quite a bit of the blue paper coming up. This is a bluey grey paper. And I'm now going to start a new drawing, and I'd like you to all get started. But do be careful about where you begin your drawing. I would start probably with the shape that's nearest to you. In my case, I started with this corkscrew. I could really have done with bringing it down a little bit further on the page, and then I would have got more of the top of the bottle in. Okay, Okay, we can all get started now, and I will stop you in about 20 minutes when you've got the subject mapped out on your page. Okay, so you've got 20 minutes to, establish the two main shapes that you've got or chosen to draw. I think most of you probably have only chosen two, I hope. And probably it's useful to have a spare bit of paper that you can put over your drawing so that you don't rest your hand on your work as you're drawing. Because remember, charcoal does smudge very easily.
So we're going straight into charcoal.
I either go straight into charcoal or use your white chalk. I don't mind what you start with.
So this is an incredibly dumb question, but if you've got solid coloured objects, how do you know what to do black and what to do white?
You half close your eyes, squint at it,
Yep.
and see if it allows you to see where the lighter areas are on the object, where the half-tone areas are, and where the dark areas are.
Right.
What can you just show me or tell me what you're drawing?